For a lot of people, the impact of life itself is overwhelming, so they'll seek out something to distract them. Whether it's drinking cough syrup, or it's taking naps, or jerking off, or gambling. There's a lot of things that people do to distract them from the angst of being alive.
It might not be for you. It might make you paranoid. You might have smoked some bad weed once and thought you were having a heart attack.
Cannabis is not for everybody. Nobody should be forced to use it.
There's a lot of reasons why marijuana might not be for you, but you shouldn't tell me that it's not right for me.
The most frequently cited perceived harm associated with marijuana today is addiction.
I mean, you do know it's addictive, highly addictive, right?
Because I believe it is addictive and it leads to more serious drugs.
But in order to understand addiction in relation to marijuana, one must first have an understanding of the psychology behind addiction in the first place.
It's interesting to see or to ask who becomes addicted. People can have sex without being addicted to it, they can go shopping, but some people become severely addicted to all these pursuits. Is a pack of cards addictive? Well, no, or yes, depending on the individual. So it's the same process no matter what the addiction is. The only difference is that the substance addict is getting the dopamine from an outside substance, whereas the behavior addict is having it triggered from the particular behavior. If I speak to a group of 100 people or 1,000 people and I ask, well, how many of you have addiction issues to any substance? A number of people put their hand up and I say, what did it do for you? Not what was bad about it, we already know that, but what did it do for you? What was positive in your experience of it? Well, it gave me a sense of peace. It gave me pain relief. It made me feel more connected. It made me more confident. I could speak now and interact with other people. In other words, the addict is just after wanting to be a normal human being. And the real question is, what keeps them from having those qualities in their lives and what happened to them? And so that the addiction should be seen not as the problem, although it is a problem, but it's not the problem, it's the addict's attempt to solve a problem in the first place. The adverse childhood experiences studies done in California looked at conditions such as physical, sexual, and emotional abuse in the child's life, the loss of a parent through death, or a rancorous divorce, or a parent being jailed, or mental illness in the parent, or addiction in the parent, or violence in the family. And for each of these adverse childhood experiences, the risk of addiction goes up exponentially. By the time a male child has had 6 of these adverse experiences, his risk of having become a substance-dependent, injection-using addict is 4,600% greater than that of a male child with no such experiences. Why is that? It's because that trauma shapes the brain in such ways as to make the addictive substances more appealing to the individual. That trauma also gives that person the pain that they will try to then escape from or to soothe through the addictive behaviors. It's the social and emotional environment that shapes the actual biology of the brain. So if you understand somebody's addiction, you have to look at what created pain in their lives. So the person who occasionally has a beer, occasionally smokes marijuana, but genuinely have no negative consequences, does not impair their health, does not endanger their lives, it does not impair their personal relationships. You can't call those people addicts and you can't call those behaviors addictive. So that we have to make a real distinction between the use of substances and the addiction to substances. Which then brings us to the war on drugs. Basically, the war on drugs is being waged against people that were abused and traumatized in children and have mental health problems. There's enough punishment in there, in the negative consequences of the addiction, that we don't have to add punishment onto that. The number of deaths around the world from cigarette consumption is 5.5 million, according to latest estimates. Annually, cigarettes kill as many people as were killed in the Germans' anti-Jewish genocidal campaign. So we have a Holocaust annually, owing to cigarettes.
If you smoke more than 2 packs a day, the risk for developing lung cancer was 20-fold. That's 2,000%. Based on the largest case control study ever done, there was no evidence that marijuana increased the risk of lung cancer.
You got to have some consistency. There's a million different drugs that are sanctioned by the society that don't have that happy ending, that you take too much and you're fucked.
I've got a friend whose auntie had to go to rehab for buying 2 boxes of Krispy Kremes every day and eating them in the woods so nobody found her. Based on that anecdote, let's make Krispy Kremes illegal. I will fight any man, by the way, who suggests that.
That's just like eating a pound of salt and dying. Yeah, you didn't use salt right, dude. You fucked up with salt. If you just threw some salt on popcorn, it's actually quite yummy, you know? But what'd you do, you stupid fuck? You ate a pound of salt and you died. Doesn't mean we should outlaw salt.
Our society doesn't object to people jumping out of airplanes at 15,000 feet with parachutes. Occasionally, those parachutes break. People die. Our society doesn't object to people climbing mountains. Occasionally, people fall off mountains and do harm to themselves, but it's not illegal to climb a mountain.
If I had to compare marijuana to alcohol, from the medical point of view, if I asked the question, well, which of these has more potentially debilitating and harmful, life-threatening, health-eroding effects, there's no comparison, there's no context. Alcohol wins hands down.
To the tune of 50,000 plus per year die from alcohol poisoning. They literally drink themselves to death. Pot, zero.
Do we have a war on alcohol and tobacco when alcohol is the drug that's involved with more murders than any other drug on planet Earth?
How do we view the effect of beer? Come on now.
Holy we are so dependent on it. If you have a social gathering and there isn't booze there, people lose their minds. Celebrating. Let's go to the pub when we talk about commiserating. Let's go to the pub. I'm happy. Let's go to the pub. My dog died. Let's go to the pub.
It's Wednesday, best day of the week.
Great job getting us drunk.
We could all use a stiff drink. Fantastic. Margarita day.
If you're not going to drink it, pass it around.
Where are you guys spending New Year's Eve?
I'm going to get real drunk.
Many years ago, we did a poll in Parliament and we asked them, you know, is alcohol a drug? And the majority of politicians said alcohol is not a drug. And they say, well, it's not a drug because it's not illegal. And that gets to this peculiar, dangerous concept that once something's illegal, it must be dangerous. And when something's not illegal, it must be safe.